In the ever-evolving world of smartphone cameras, it seems that users are gravitating away from hyper-accurate, high-detail shots toward capturing scenes with emotion and personal flair. Apple's iPhone 16 Pro photographic styles have tapped into this trend by offering an experience that's less about objective accuracy and more about storytelling. The Pixel 9 Pro, with its unmatched technical prowess, provides clear and true-to-life shots, capturing scenes in razor-sharp detail, but it lacks that vintage feeling or aesthetic flexibility that many photographers are seeking. Apple's photographic styles don't just create photos, they evoke memories, capturing the feeling of a place rather than just documenting it. Having spent a month alternating between the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the Pixel 9 Pro, I've come to find that, 9 times out of 10, I'm drawn to the iPhone's photographic styles. They're not only about photography but about an emotional experience. Traditional digital photography has always leaned towards realism, and the Pixel 9 Pro epitomizes this with its clarity, color accuracy, and sharpness. But for many, photography is about more than that. People want a tool that lets them capture the vibe, ambience, and even nostalgia of a moment without needing hours of post-processing. Apple seems to have recognized this desire and has introduced something entirely different with photographic styles in iOS 18. These aren't simple filters, they're customizable recipes that can be tweaked in real time or adjusted later. With iPhone 16 Pro's photography styles, you can dial in warmth, contrast, and tone, giving each shot a personal touch. This customization is a major draw for those who, like me, come from an analog photography background, where capturing a moment was about framing a memory, not just recording data. My experience with photographic styles has been a rediscovery of the joy of photography. It feels almost like choosing a roll of film, whether it's the warm, rich tones of Kodak Portra, the punchy colors of Fujifilm Velvia, or even the muted, moody look of expired film stock. The iPhone 16 Pro allows you to predefine a style for a day or a setting. For example, I recently set a rose gold tint for warm autumn days, and during a recent visit to an arcade, I dialed in a high contrast, neon-heavy look. Each setting changes the way you experience a shot in the moment, without committing to post-editing. One of the experiences that showed me just how expressive these styles could be was a morning run where I captured a shot of the local metro weaving through a park. The Pixel 9 Pro did an incredible job with sharpness, capturing the metro with true-to-life detail, but the iPhone's photographic style transformed the scene. I chose a warm, shadow-softened style that made the image feel nostalgic, evoking memories of childhood walks through urban green spaces. While the Pixel's image was technically better, the iPhone's rendition conveyed something intangible, a feeling. It was an ideal example of how Apple's photographic styles aren't just for better-looking photos but for images that resonate emotionally. There's a distinct pleasure in using photographic styles for consistency throughout a day or location. When I passed an antique store one afternoon, I was feeling particularly drawn to the warmth and nostalgia of the space. By setting a custom cozy filter, I was able to capture the store's atmosphere with elevated warmth, increased shadow, and a slight matte effect. The Pixel took a pristine shot of the scene, but the iPhone image evoked the mood of an old, forgotten place, not just the look. It was as if I'd stepped back in time. The cozy filter turned an otherwise straightforward photo into an image with depth and emotion, reminding me of an old photograph found in a dusty attic. Even for something as straightforward as food photography, photographic styles bring new life to everyday moments. Sitting in a CAF on a cool afternoon, I captured a coffee and pastry with the cozy style, resulting in a warm, inviting shot that matched the setting perfectly. While the Pixel delivered a technically accurate, perfectly balanced shot, the iPhone's rendition felt more intimate, embodying the coziness of the CAF. This approach shifts the goal of photography from objectivity to subjective feeling, letting users express their personal take on a moment. It's the kind of difference that makes you pause and remember why you took a photo in the first place. As winter's early chill began to creep into Delhi, I switched to a cooler, more dramatic style for capturing shots around the city. The style's punched-up highlights and lowered shadows transformed what would have been ordinary street scenes into powerful images. These were photos I wanted to share, ones that captured the atmosphere of a winter day. The Pixel's technical detail couldn't replicate the mood I was able to convey with the iPhone's photography styles. The Pixel's perfect dynamic range and sharpness, while technically superior, didn't provide that raw, emotional quality that the iPhone achieved. Later, I found myself in a neon-lit arcade and quickly switched to a style that emphasized contrast and saturation with a slight pink hue, capturing the arcade's vibrant 80s nostalgia. While I could have added similar effects in post-processing with the Pixel, there's something special about capturing the exact vibe you're experiencing in real time. The iPhone captured the spirit of the moment in a way that felt authentic and unedited, making it the perfect tool for spontaneous, on-the-go photography where feelings are just as important as the visuals. This intentional embrace of imperfection lets iPhone users capture the artistic side of photography. The Pixel's strength and accuracy makes it perfect for documentation and truth-telling in photos, but the iPhone's styles allow me to interpret the scene creatively. With the new iPhone, Apple has understood that for many people, photography isn't about the objective truth, it's about telling a story. This story, in turn, resonates with the viewer in a way that pixel-perfect clarity often doesn't. One of the most exciting additions to the latest iOS is Apple's Fuji-style recipe approach to photography styles. Just like with Fuji's popular color recipes, iPhone users can now share and recreate each other's styles, bringing new layers to collaborative photography. Currently, sharing is limited to manual input of settings, but I'd love to see Apple develop a more streamlined sharing experience. Think of it as Lightroom presets but integrated directly into your camera. This potential for community-created looks and styles can inspire and connect photographers in a unique way, letting them see through each other's eyes. Of course, photographic styles alone may not be enough to make everyone switch to an iPhone. There's no denying the Pixel 9 Pro's exceptional camera quality and accuracy, which make it a top contender for anyone who values pristine, untouched realism in their photos. I still rely on my Pixel for certain shots, knowing I can count on it for perfect dynamic range, balance, and clarity. But when it comes to capturing something uniquely personal, Apple's approach brings more joy to the process. It's not about technical superiority, but about having fun with photography, adding creativity and self-expression into each shot without fussing with filters or adjustments after the fact. If there's one takeaway from this experience, it's that photography styles have turned iPhone photography into an act of personal expression. Apple's approach makes it clear, this isn't just about taking photos, it's about capturing the way you see the world, with all its warmth, nostalgia, and imperfections. And for those who value that experience, photographic styles make all the difference. In the end, it's not about choosing the objectively best camera. It's about choosing the tool that lets you tell your story. The Pixel may capture the truth, but the iPhone captures the feeling, and for many photographers, that's what makes all the difference. Whether it's recreating the warm glow of a summer afternoon or evoking the gritty look of an urban winter night, Apple's iPhone 16 Pro has made photography feel fun, personal, and alive again.